What's up? Nerds. All right, so here we go. I just wanted to make a video for you guys to make sure you didn't get stuck in the dark as you're studying for tonight. So this is y'all's homework, and y'all struggle through it as much as you can, but then you can watch this when you're done and you feel like you're at your wit's end, or maybe you've just got too much going on, like a soccer game or something else tonight, and you're just like, I just need to understand what's going on. Just look at your work, follow along with what I'm doing here. You can write it down as I'm going if there are things that are incomplete, but just make sure you're trying your best at this stuff before you watch the video. All right, so here we go. Number one, we already did it in class, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it again, okay? So, the man thinks, that's what this says, wir cogitat. So the man thinks, and this is what he's thinking it out loud. So this is a direct statement. This is what you're starting with. The eyes of the girl are beautiful. That's what he's saying. So your goal here is to take this sentence, the man thinks, and this sentence, the eyes of the girl are beautiful, and you are supposed to put them into one sentence. You want it to say, the man thinks that the eyes of the girl are beautiful. So what you're going to end up with is, with a combination of this neck-up verb, a accusative subject noun, and here's the verb that needs to be its infinitive. All right? Now I am going to go ahead and draw a line really quick right here. I'm going to draw a line to just make sure that you guys can see that you're not just dealing with one change right here, but this word also has to change because this is the adjective going with eyes. So the adjective always has to modify, no matter what, always has to modify the noun it's describing in gender, number, and case. So this is your neck-up verb, the man thinks, and you're allowed to just go ahead and write that the way that you see it here. The man thinks that. Now that's understood in English. The that is understood in English. We write that down. In Latin, it will never be there in a word. All right? So the man thinks that the eyes. So what does eyes have to be? If it's the subject noun of the indirect statement, it has to be accusative. So it's plural here. It's masculine here. That should stay the same. Masculine plural should stay the same. But instead of it being nominative, like a subject noun should be, this is the subject noun of the indirect statement. So it's got to be accusative. Akulos. All right? Girl will stay the same. The eyes of the girl. But are, that can't stay an actual verb anymore. It has to become element number 3, which is an infinitive. So what's the infinitive of soon? Essa. All right? And just like this word had to change, so does its adjective. The adjective can never have a different gender, number, or case from the noun it's modifying. So, polkri does the same thing that happened in akuli. Polkros. All right? And you're done with number 1. The man thinks that the eyes of the girl are beautiful. All right? So here we go. Next one. The poet tells or narrates. The poet narrates, and he says this directly. The girl is loved by the family. All right, so that's what he's narrating, and that's the direct quote. But I don't want to talk like that all the time. I want to put this into one sentence, dude. So that's what we're doing. The poet narrates that the girl is loved by the family. So here's our first element. Element number 1, neck-up verb, narrates. Narrates. The poet narrates that the girl. Can I leave it like that? Can I leave it as a nominative subject noun? When it becomes element number 2, it has to become an accusative subject noun. So it's a singular subject noun here, so it can stay singular down here. It just has to become accusative. Pualam. So poeta narrat does not change. The poet narrates that the girl, by the family, now think about it, amateur. Amateur translates is loved. But what does the verb of the indirect statement have to become? It has to become an infinitive. Now, this is element number 3, and if you were to put this, you'd be close. Amara, you'd be close. But you're not right. Because amara is active. Amara is to love. Amater is passive, so this infinitive also has to be passive. You just change amara with an E at the end to amari with an I with a macron at the end. So now the sentence is, Poeta narat, puelam a familia amari. Puelam, the accusative subject noun, amari, the infinitive, element number 3. Okay? So, here's number 3. Let me see if I can come in a little bit so that y'all can actually read the flipping words, dude. All right, so here we go. Catullus sees. All right? Catullus sees. This is the neck up verb. And what he's saying directly is, the girl loves the pet. That's what he's saying directly. But now let's just make it all one fluid sentence without all this gobbledygook punctuation. Make it one fluid sentence. Catullus sees, and then by making puella accusative, you're making it one sentence. Now it's the accusative subject noun of this dependent clause, and the verb here can simply become the infinitive. This word is active, so you can leave it amara. Amater was passive, so you had to change it to amari. But amara is fine. Catullus sees that the girl loves the pet. All right? Sorry for my absolutely atrocious handwriting. I don't want to hear anything about it, okay? So here we go. Let's continue, huh? What do you say? Huh? What do you say, huh? All right, so here we go. Number 4, the girl thinks, putat. What is she thinking? Directly, she's thinking, the sparrow's pretty. That's the girl, directly speaking. Direct statement. Sorry, that was not very feminist of me. All right, so here we go. The girl thinks that the sparrow is pretty. You got your neck up verb, element number 1. Element number 2 is to change the subject noun of the direct statement into an accusative. So this just needs to become passerem. And the verb of the direct statement, there's a little glare. Sorry about that. A little glare. All right? The verb of the direct statement has to become an infinitive. All right? So the girl thinks that the sparrow is element number 3, an infinitive. Dang, man. I swear it's an infinitive. See? Passerem. Essa. Gosh, my handwriting is truly barbaric. All right, so here we go. All right, everything else would stay the same. It would just be puella putat, passerem, essa, and then pulchram. All right, same reason why we had to change pulchri in sentence number 1 is because this is an adjective modifying sparrow. So whatever sparrow is, the adjective must be as well because it's modifying it. Okay, number 5. Kind of vibe. How do I get the flippin' orb out of my face, dude? There it is. All right. Nice and easy one. Poeta coquetat. The poet thinks. And what is he saying as he's thinking? He's saying, doleo. What does doleo mean? It means, I suffer. I feel pain. So that's what he's saying directly. The poet thinks, I feel pain. I want to just make this one clear sentence because I don't like the poet's voice. All right? I want to say everything. So I'm going to make it an indirect statement because I don't want him to talk anymore. All right? The poet thinks that what? The poet thinks that he feels pain. So this is what has to happen. The subject noun of the indirect statement used to be I because it's talking about the poet. Now, remember the pronoun you learned in your vocab that reflects back to the subject noun of the sentence. Poeta cogitat, the poet thinks that he. The pronoun that's used here is se. So the poet thinks that he, and then the verb of the indirect statement must become a infinitive, dolera. All right? The poet thinks that he feels pain. But he's wrong. He's just a wuss, dude. Just kidding. He probably is going through it right now. He's a freaking poet, dude. All right, so here we go. Number 6. All right. Senes. What's senes mean? Senes means old man. All right. Man, y'all didn't even pay for the acting I'm doing right now. You're getting that for free. All right. The old men, narrant. The old men say. Let's just go ahead and say that, just because it's nice and easy. The old men say. What are they saying? What do y'all think I'm about to sound like right now? A freaking old man. That's right. The old men say, Wita. Wait, that wasn't very good. Wita. That's better. Should I go country with it? Wita. Wita known as Super Pulchra. I like that. I like that. So the old men say, life is not always beautiful. That's what they say directly. All right? But we're not going to leave it like that because that's the exercise. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to leave this the same. All right? The poet, the old men say that. The old men say that life. Now, Wita is the subject noun in the nominative in the direct statement. It needs to be an accusative subject noun in the indirect statement. So, Witam, known. Life not is. What should the verb become in an indirect statement? A flippin' infinitive. That's right. All right? The old men say that life is not always what? Pulchra? Can that stay pulchra? No. Because what's it modifying? Life. Witam. So if it became Witam here, excuse me, then that means that its adjective has to become pulchram to match it. Accusative singular feminine. Accusative singular feminine. All right, last one. Let's go. Can y'all still see all of it? I don't think so. It's a pretty long one. All right. Oh, man, how am I supposed to do both people at the same time, dude? That's psycho. I'm not a freaking schizo. All right, so here we go. Poeta et puella putant. All right? The poet and the girl. Think. So both of them together. The poet and the girl think. Malai fabulae a senibus narantur. Okay. So they are saying this sentence right here. Okay? Bad stories by old men are told. Bad stories are told by old men. That's quite a freaking statement, dude. But it's indirect. So we got to make it indirect. All right? Or wait, it was direct. We need to make it indirect. So these words right here are the subject noun and its adjective. So those are going to have to become accusative. The verb here is narantur. Narantur, what voice is narantur? It's passive. So guess what? The infinitive that you make it, because it's element number 3, has to also be passive. Neck up verb, element number 1. Accusative, subject noun, element number 2. And then infinitive verb, element number 3. All right, so the sentence will become Poeta et puella putant, that will stay the same. Malas fabulas, accusative plural, because this was nominative plural here, so it's just got to become accusative, matching the same gender and number. Plural, feminine. So malas fabulas. A senibus does not change, but this verb has to be narari. I with a macron at the end, like this. Narari. All right? Because it's got to be passive. Because the verb was passive in the direct statement. Konnichiwa.